Well, just as I thought, trash.
We are finally here, the day Disney's Aladdin is released upon the world, and boy, it's a doozy. Hello, my name is EJ Marino, and this is About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. Yes, I saw Aladdin, and this movie has problems, so let's dive into it. So I'm not going to go on a rant about live-action Disney remakes. There's plenty of those videos on YouTube, and it's not really my style, but I can't help think of that trend when it comes to reviewing Aladdin. If this wasn't Disney's first time trying to remake one of their classic Renaissance films, I might be a little kinder, but after the mediocre Beauty and the Beast, to follow it up with an equally mediocre movie, it really shows the problem with this trend. It only makes flat, uninventive films that add nothing to the franchise into the mythos of Disney. Aladdin is another generic copy and paste movie without trying to add any fresh ideas, add anything new to this whole mythos of these Disney classic movies. How do you just keep remaking these movies and make my generation look a little less fond on those original films? Maybe this is a good strategy. Maybe I'm gonna watch this movie and be like, ooh, this is nothing like the animated film. I might go watch the animated film now. I'm keen to your strategy now, Disney. I'm not getting suckered in. All jokes aside, Disney's Aladdin really did disappoint me. Honestly, it could be worse. This movie did not. I wasn't trying to run out of the theater as soon as it started, but it could have been way better. And I really blame Guy Ritchie's directing. First things first, Guy Ritchie, maybe not the pick you should do when you're doing a live action musical remake of Aladdin. When you think of this property, do you think Guy Ritchie? Guy Ritchie, known for these badass action movies like Rock'n'Rolla and the Sherlock Holmes movies and Lock, Shock and Two Smoking Barrel. He is a classic director of some good action movies. So you give him Aladdin. That was the biggest and weirdest choice, and that shows because his musical scenes are some of the most unoriginal, unfun musical scenes I've seen in quite some time. They really never go to that second gear, and that was my problem. Is they would start, I would be like, this looks fine, this is okay, and then I would stay on that same just wave of going, this is okay, oh, I want that spark, and it's not there, it's over. One, I didn't know A Whole New World was so short. Maybe it's just because of the pacing of the movie, but I was like, oh, just when the song picks up, it's over. Then we have to deal with 45 minutes, it feels like a Prince Ali. Oh boy. Yeah, the musical scenes in this movie are, I think, my biggest disappointment. It's not Will Smith, though. I think Will Smith's singing is whatever. I think Mena, Massoud, and Naomi Scott do well. It's the filming around their musical numbers. It just, like I said, doesn't feel that extra spark. I like a good musical, from Rocky Horror to Chicago. I like a bold, fun musical, and this is not it. So maybe that's my disappointment. Maybe I shouldn't have went into this thinking the musical numbers would be the best part. But when they're the best part of the original Aladdin animated film, you kind of have those hopes. You kind of have those wants to have that same magic captured again. Speaking of magic needing to be captured again, Will Smith. I can make a whole separate video about how I feel about that man, because I'm pretty hit or miss on him as a actor. Not as a person, Will Smith's whatever, but as an actor, hit or miss on him. In this movie, oh boy, when he's not trying to recapture that magic of Robin Williams, I actually enjoy him in this movie. Yes, what many people thought was going to be the worst part of this, Will Smith, I actually found to be okay. I was surprised by that. When they aren't forcing him to do Robin Williams-esque little skits where he's playing a bunch of different characters, I actually thought Will Smith was fine. There's a great moment in here where Prince Ali is meeting Jasmine for the first time, and the genie's there as his kind of assistant. He's just trying to coach him along, like Aladdin will say something, he's like, bro, for real? I love that. It felt like a Will Smith comedic moment, and that was fine. But when he's running around playing different skits, trying to do these impersonations and referencing pop culture, hated it. Did not like it. That fits Robin Williams. That's Robin Williams as an actor. That's what they did with the genie in the 90s to make him just a Robin Williams character. You can't recapture that with Will Smith, who's not the same caliber of person, who's not the same pop culture referencing kind of guy. That's what really upset me, is you really could have had a great Will Smith performance here when they weren't trying to stick to some of those classic genie moments. While I enjoyed the genie and I thought Aladdin and Jasmine were fine, I really don't have too much to say about them other than Mena Massoud is the cutest, most handsome little man. I hope he gets so many more roles. I really like seeing his face. Naomi Scott, she's cool. Liked her as a Pink Power Ranger a little bit more than I liked her in this. that, badass Jasmine stuff was a little on the nose, but to me, the biggest disappointment of this movie was Jafar. When I needed this actor to be at a 10, he was at a 5. That's kind of the running theme of this movie, is like, it only gets to a 5, never really gets to that full 10, even that full Disney 11, but that's what I was just like, oh, the one thing I was happy for, him and Iago, Alan Tudyk as Iago. Oh no, I really was not enjoying Jafar in this thing. He felt like generic Disney villain 1. Just like, Jafar was such an iconic villain, and to do this to him, I was so upset by that. But honestly, that's kind of the running theme, is like, I was upset by the villain plot of this movie. I was upset by the villain, the actual plot of this movie, the script. The script is the problem. I really think my problems with the genie, I think my problems with Jafar are all in that script, where like Aladdin and Jasmine are pretty much copy and paste the same. Trying to do what they did with Jafar here was a mess. Really upsetting. Truly one of my favorite Disney villains. They really messed up. So now I'm even more scared if they ever remake The Little Mermaid. What are they going to do to Ursula? Please don't do this. Like, Gaston was okay. The evil stepmom in Cinderella was fine. This though, oh boy, I don't want to see something as bad as Jafar again. I can sit here for another 10 minutes talking about this movie, kind of bashing it, digging in on it. I could go in on it, but truly, you already kind of expect it. This movie, honestly, if you're gonna take one thing away from it, it's not that bad. I wouldn't rate it as the worst live-action Disney remake. I actually think Dumbo was still worse this year, but I don't think it's top tier. I don't think this is run out and go see it. Now, I could be wrong, because the people around me seem to enjoy it. I took my mother to see this and she really liked it. So there is a market for this movie. Don't just take my opinion, check it out for yourself. That's kind of my big thing with any review. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't like it. So always go check it out. If you have any interest in seeing this, you might be into it. But if you're on the fence or did not want to see this review ain't gonna help you. This is exactly how it is. Not that great. That is it for my review of Disney's Aladdin. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this video. I am sorry this was so mean. I don't like to do mean videos on my channel. I like to be as... You know what? No, I like to be mean. I don't ever really get to do it. So yeah, I have feelings about this movie. They weren't too positive. If you're a big Aladdin fan, if you're a big Disney fan, sorry about it. But honestly, you shouldn't be too shocked. Alright guys, that was it for my review of this movie. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this review, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because I make videos like this every single week. Oh, and don't forget to leave me a comment down below. What are your thoughts on this review? What are your thoughts on Aladdin? Let me know everything down in the comments below. And I I'm so excited to talk with you guys. I cannot wait to talk with you guys in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.